Man with Ronnie Olson, coach of the Shady Spring Tigers. First of all, Ronnie, it's been an eventful summer for you. I know you were working another job. You were driving up 79. This was a couple of weeks ago. There was an active shooter on 79. And just tell that story, how close you were to actually being, possibly being in the crosshairs of an active shooter.
Yeah, I stopped at, I was debating if I wanted to stop and get a coffee, and I kept debating back and forth because I wanted to, get to where I was going, because I want to hurry up, get to my other job and come home. So I waited and waited, and finally I said, you know what? Something said stop, and I stopped, got a coffee, used the restroom, and got back on the highway. Right there before Weston, I see all these cars stopped, and the state police and sheriffs blocking the highway, and I thought it was a wreck, and I'm upset because I'm trying to hurry up and get to where I'm going, like we always do. We rush everywhere, right? And I see, cops are in the middle of the highway, and I decided my GPS, I got off the Weston, backed up and went off the Weston exit, but I realized I was only, 500 feet, 800 feet from the where it could have been, where the guy was shooting at, police officers at that time, and in the active shooter in the highway. So, if I didn't stop, you just kind of like, life is kind of a, we say game is a game of inches, but so is life, minutes. So it's kind of a reflection on me just stopping. It was kind of crazy that I stopped and, avoided a kind of crazy situation there.
I mean, I would assume that puts everything in perspective, including the state championship game last night, in March, rather. I know it was probably still a sore spot, but do you often reflect on that last 20 seconds? I know after the fact, you blamed yourself that night for not calling a timeout there and let play just go. And then there was a bit of a defensive breakdown, which you guys never break down defensively. Just happened at the wrong time. Do you often reflect on that last 25, 30 seconds or 18, whatever it was, after Braden gave you guys the lead?
Yeah, I think even more so. I don't think it's ever going to leave me, even if we happen to win another state title this next year. Something's going to stick with me the rest of my life. But it comes up a lot. It comes up as teaching moments. It comes up all the time. I'm sure the boys will get tired of hearing it already, but they're going to hear it for the next 8 months until we play in that state championship again, hopefully. But it's been a learning experience for me. I still think I made a mistake. I should have took a timeout. I take that on myself, but it definitely comes up, and it's still, I've had time to reflect, and my my view on it still won't change. I think I should have took a timeout, but I think we've learned from it, and we're using it as a motivator as well.
You've got the whole crew back, and I would assume at times it's a little bit easier, I would think, as a coach to teach new guys, because it's more of a teaching thing than guys that already get it. What's been the biggest challenge this summer, having these guys for the third straight year?
You wouldn't think it'd be complacency, but it is, and that kind of, I think we all take as coaches stuff from the summer we can work on, and I don't think it's anything having to do with the X's and O's. I think it's our mental approach and the way that we approach a game of basketball. I think we've seen just seen from getting beat by Bluefield this morning. They're a good team, but I've got a lot of things I'm gonna have to approach the season with a little differently. Just because we've experienced and we played and we've been here. You still got to go at it the same way. You still got to put your shoes on and lace them up and play. Everybody's out to get us. Everybody's out to beat us. And we've got to approach the game that way. Everybody's going to give us our best shot. And I just think that's something that's said, and it's really not understood. And people really our guys really got to understand what that means. You can't just say it. And to get our butts whooped today was kind of I was happy that it happened and the way that it happened. And so we got punched in the mouth.
Man, Bluefield was really relentless there in the second half. I think you guys were up at the half.
Yeah,
don't see that very often from a Shady team.
Yeah, and Bluefield reminded me of us. We've had many battles with Bluefield over the past 5 years. We're in the same section. They know us inside and out, and we know them inside and out. And we've always built our program on playing hard and outworking the other one. No one's going to beat you to the ball. No defensive breakdowns. Effort. Relentless pursuit for the ball, and that's what they did. They kind of played our style of ball. They never stopped playing. That's attribute to the coaches and the players. And our guys, I think, are forgetting what got us there. We're good, but we're not good enough to win a state championship without those attributes bringing every time to the floor.
When Braden Chapman, the tabulating for the player of the year was done before the state tournament.
Yeah.
Braden had a huge state tournament for you. He's going to come in as one of the front runners for the state player of the year. How do you think that changes things? Or does it?
I shouldn't. Obviously I'm a coach. I'm going to say, different than how, but I'm sure as Braden might feel a little more pressure maybe. I'm sure I know as a player I wanted to have personal accolades. If you don't, you're lying. I think that's important for those guys to have that. I've always said that. I think it's important for them to get recognition, and I think it's important for him to want to be state player of the year. If he doesn't, then there's something wrong. But I don't think that it should be at the expense of our team first. And I don't know that that's necessarily Braden's. A lot of pressure on him. So he just goes out and plays away. He's hard to stop. That guy, he can go downhill, and when he wants to defend, he can defend. So, he just got to play basketball. And I think everything else, the state player of the year, the all states,
that stuff take care of itself.
Scholarships will take care of themselves.
Are he and Cole getting more attention college-wise?
Yeah, both of them. I think are getting good looks. I know both of them want to go Division I. We're still in the process of looking over schools, and I'm not going to put personal stuff out there, but they are getting a lot of looks, and they have opportunity to play college basketball at the next level and pay for their school, and that's all you can ask for. So I know there's some coaches that are really really working with them, and they're interested in, and I think they're going to be a good fit for them. So you never know what the season's going to hold. So travel season's almost over, or the open period I think is here in a couple weeks. But I think they have the opportunity to play college basketball, and that's all you can ask for.
How close are Jack Williams and Brady Green back to resuming full activities?
Brady can play. He did a 7-on-7, football. We don't want to rush him, so he's not going to do any basketball activities until the season starts. So he's going to go right into football. And Jack, we're looking at we wanted to begin the season, but he could probably start about October, November. But our goal is he's on slate right now to start the first day we start back with basketball. So hopefully.
So you have him from the get-go.
Yeah, if everything
and he
goes
was
well.
a starter at the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Do you think about matchups, and you think about a rotation?
Oh yeah. I'm
Because
excited.
I know if you didn't, I would say you're being a little disingenuous.
No.
Do you think how you run 9 and 10 guys?
No, you got to be. Just like a coach, a football coach has two quarterbacks. You want to utilize their skills the most you can, put them on the field when you feel like they can be successful. We've got a lot of guys that are interchangeable, can play all positions. I think that puts them in the best position to play college basketball as well. But Jack and Brady are interchangeable type players. So there's going to be a lot of guys that maybe played a bunch of minutes last year that we're going to have to sit not because they're not good enough. It's because we're going to play a lot more guys. So we're going to look to even push the tempo and get up in defensive pressure even more this year, because we're going to have 8 or 9 guys that we're going to rotate in and out. So I'm excited for that. Being fresh at the end of the games and running teams up and down the floor even harder than if that says anything. Jack's going to come in and when he's ready, and if we get those two guys back full healthy, it's going to be tough to deal with.
One guy I haven't mentioned, one guy that I think, and a lot of people, I've heard this from a lot of people, could potentially be the best player to come out of this group, and that's Ammar Maxwell. How much has he improved over the offseason, and what do you expect from Ammar this year? I really think he could be some kind of special player.
Ammar's a terror. He is a monster. He's so young yet. He probably should be just an incoming for a sophomore, but he's not. He's still a young kid, and I think that's why there's colleges starting to take recognition of him. But Ammar's worked hard on getting to the rim, not being a spot. All he was a spot shooter this first freshman year, and now he kind of got that second phase going downhill. But when he wants to go downhill, and he's really being physical and rebounding, I think Ammar has a chance. Maybe I'm biased, with all my guys to play Division I, but I think Ammar has a chance to be a Division I basketball player as well. He's got the length. He can shoot.
By the time he's done, you think he could be high Division I?
I mean, you know, it's up to him. I think he has the physical tools to do it. It's going to be, does Ammar want to get in the gym, and how much does he want it? You know, he's a special player, and he's an awesome kid. I love that kid. He's just, I mean, there's nobody on the team or in the school that dislikes Ammar Maxwell. He's a one of a kind kid, and I think if anybody deserves it, it's him. But he's every year I'm thinking at him this year already that what he's done in the summer. He looks like a man, and he's going downhill. He's rebounding, and he can shoot it. So I mean, these next 2 years are going to be big for him, and I'm excited for the upside with more.
You've got such great talent on the team. You got a guy in Cam Mann that could be a D1 baseball pitcher potentially, and he was in Boone, North Carolina last night at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Made the drive back. I said, well, why do you do that, Cam? He said, well, I like Coach Olson, and I think I owe it to my teammates. You got to enjoy having a kid like that in the program. We'll make the 3 or 4 hour drive back and then get down here to the gym at 9 in the morning and start playing.
And I appreciate that from Cam. He knows he's a special kid in my heart. Him and I have a really special relationship. But he called me last night and told me, he said, hey, Coach, this is what's going on. Just a kid to take initiative and call me first and say, hey, I might be here, I might not, this is why I may not. Nowadays some kids may not even show up and not tell you why they were here or not. But it speaks a lot about Cam, and he's in. He's all in. This is senior year. He don't want to go anywhere, and he's we need him and we want him, and I appreciate his effort he played with out here and just coming straight out of baseball, and that means a lot, and I think that speaks volumes for our program and the buy-in we have here with all our kids.
You got 10, 11 maybe that can play. You got freshmen coming in a normal program. Some of these freshmen are pretty good athletes. How do you work these freshmen in? I mean, I don't know that they'll see any kind of varsity team just because of the team you got, but how much is it going to help them to go against these guys? I would assume the same way it helped the Chapmans when they went against Tommy and LaRose.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing?
It is. I mean, every day in practice, but we've been able to do a lot of things separate for them this summer. We put them in a varsity basketball league against other varsity basketball teams, not a JV, and down in Grand Virginia. We put them in the high school bracket at Woodrow. We went up to Marshall. They played one game by themselves, and they won. They beat a high school out of Ohio, pretty much on their own. So
that last game,
yeah. I mean, I don't think they're our Shady Gold in Beckley Summer League, and they've yet to lose a game. They lost one game in the Graham, and that was to Bluefield. So maybe they lost to George Wythe, but they're going against all varsity teams, and that's going to prepare them and only make them better. I hate it for them. I try to tell them it's going to be tough to be patient, but they've got one more year, and we even addressed it after the Bluefield game today. You guys can win as many state championships if you want as well. So we got a lot of guys that are young, and it just sucks. But if they're just patient, they're going to have their 2
like
years.
I said, in other programs, and you see it now with the transition of some kids. They know they're not going to have an opportunity here, so they go somewhere else. I mean, you've seen that with guys that probably wouldn't have gotten a chance here.
Well, they're going to be thrown in the fire. They got one more year, So I appreciate, them. They're still coming all the time, even though they don't know how much they're going to play. That means a lot to me, and I think it's going to pay off in the long run when they're ready to play.
We ever figure out who would have outshot who in the between the varsity and the JV last year in 3-point shot?
I still say the varsity.
No.
I gotta go with my senior laden guys.
No, I might go with those young guys just to be different.
Yeah.
Ronnie, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.